Had a somewhat unnerving encounter with somebody last week. Somebody with the same last name as me, but who I've never heard of before, never had any connection with. Sent me an email with just a single sentence that says, "You are going to prison." And I asked, I didn't say anything at first. I waited a few days.
You're there for a week. Yeah.
Because I thought this was some kind of joke. But I did take the time to go back and see if I'd ever received an email from this person or sent an email to this person. I couldn't find any trace of a connection. The only clue was the last name, and also the fact that she sent this email to my non-public address, and my non-public address is hardly confidential or anything, but it generally implies that we had had some kind of connection or some correspondence, but as far as I could tell, there had been none. So a few days later, I shot back and I said, "What did I do?" And she responded immediately with a bunch of shit that I couldn't figure out what she was talking about. Something about how I'd wronged her. I stole money from her mother and did some horrible shit to her cousin, and then she said something to suggest that we were related. And that's where the same last name thing started to make at least a little glimmer of sense. And I still was thinking this was some kind of joke, because it went to my email address that, generally speaking, people would only know to send to if we had already connected. So I just thought, still thinking this must be some kind of joke, I said, "Do you have any hobbies?" Which I realize now was a dumbass, stupid thing to say, but what's done is done. And she shot back with a bunch of screen grabs from one of these people finder websites, BeenVerified.com, and a bunch of screenshots with my name on them, but always with like the wrong middle initial. There was like Mark R. Thomas, Mark J. Thomas, I don't remember what. And all of these, or not all of them, but a few of these had my non-public email address on them. And this was enough to make her think that she had found her villain. She seemed barely literate. She could obviously get on the internet and type emails, but when I say barely literate, it's not that she couldn't write intelligibly, which was close to true. It was more the reading comprehension that stuck out to me, or that brought me to realize that she just was believing what she wanted to believe, seeing what she wanted to see. And then she said a couple other things to suggest, and then she let on, she told me where she worked, and with that little shred of information, I was able to figure out who she was. And she seemed to think that I was a cousin of some, like, second cousin or something. And but when I found her photos at her work website, she's black. And if nothing else proves that I'm not who she thought I was, it's that I'm not black. And it may seem like a harmless thing, but these little bits of bad information can lead to serious consequences if people don't understand what is happening here. I seem to have convinced her that I'm not the guy that she's looking for, but I'm not going to be surprised if I hear from her again. And that's actually happened to me one other time. A Nigerian scammer was using my name, and none of this has anything to do with me. It's just people randomly choose my name among a billion others that they could use. And my name is common enough that I probably don't even hear about a lot of these occurrences. But a woman emailed me a Facebook message chain that she had with somebody calling himself Mark Thomas, and it was painful to read because he had step by step, and just line by line, he had scammed her out of thousands and thousands of dollars. And this woman lashed out at me just at random again, because people find a name and they're like, that must be the guy. That must be the person who wronged me. That must be it. I have my answer. And by the way, those People Finder websites like Ben Verified and Spokeo and their ilk are outright and shameless sewers of bad, garbage information. And it's very dangerous, I think. Those guys really need to be held to some kind of standard or some kind of accountability for all the just garbage shit that they spew out onto the public internet. My little encounter with that woman was just, probably kid stuff compared to what other kind of things happen.